We promised forever on a quiet evening when the sky was painted with fading orange light. There were no witnesses, no rings, no grand speeches, only two hearts believing that love was enough. I remember the warmth of your voice, not your face, because memories don't always keep faces clear. They keep feelings alive. We talked about the future as if it were already written, as if nothing could interrupt what we felt so certain about. Every day after that felt like proof of our promise. Morning messages, late-night calls, shared dreams whispered through silence. Love didn't need constant reassurance. It lived in small habits. The way you remembered things I forgot. The way I waited for your words like they were oxygen. We built a world out of trust, brick by brick, believing it was unbreakable. I gave you my time, my loyalty, my patience. I chose you in ways that were invisible to others but meaningful to me. I defended you when doubts appeared. I ignored warnings because love, when pure, feels louder than logic. I believed that if two people promised forever, the world would respect that promise. There were signs I didn't want to see. Delayed replies. Shorter conversations. Silence where laughter once lived. I told myself it was life, stress, distance, anything but betrayal. Love has a way of protecting itself by making excuses. I didn't question you, because questioning felt like doubting the promise we made. In my mind, forever was simple. It meant staying, even when things felt heavy. It meant choosing each other again, every day. I never imagined forever could end without goodbye. I never thought memories would become my only proof that we once existed. That phase of love was soft, hopeful, and dangerously sincere. It was the calm before the storm I didn't know was coming. I held onto your words like anchors, unaware that anchors can rust. I trusted a promise that felt eternal, not knowing that forever only works when both hearts stay honest. The first thing that changed was the silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the heavy one that answers nothing. Conversations became formal, like routines instead of connections. I could feel you drifting, even without seeing you. Distance doesn't always need miles. Sometimes it lives inside replies that never come. I started noticing gaps in your stories. Time that couldn't be explained. Emotions that no longer reached me. When I asked if something was wrong, you said everything was fine. Those words felt empty, like echoes in a hollow room. I wanted to believe you, so I did. Late at night, my thoughts grew louder than your absence. I replayed our past conversations, searching for the moment things changed. Love turned into waiting. Waiting for calls. Waiting for honesty. Waiting for reassurance that never arrived. I felt guilty for needing you, as if love itself had become a burden. Then came the truth, not through confession, but realization. You were giving someone else the attention that once belonged to me. Not physically visible, but emotionally obvious. Infidelity doesn't always begin with touch. Sometimes it begins when someone chooses another heart over the one that trusted them. I didn't confront you immediately. I was afraid that speaking would make it real. I hoped it was temporary, a phase that would pass. But hope, when unsupported, slowly breaks the heart. Your distance became permanent. Your warmth found a new direction. That was when I understood. Forever had changed without my consent. You were still present in words, but absent in meaning. I was holding on to memories while you were creating new ones elsewhere. The betrayal wasn't loud, it was quiet, careful, and devastating. I felt replaced without being told. Forgotten without explanation. The pain wasn't just losing you. It was losing the version of me who believed in us without fear. Silence had spoken, and it told me everything I was trying not to hear. When you finally left, there was no dramatic ending. No closure. Just absence. And in that absence, memories became louder than reality. Every shared moment replayed itself without asking permission. I was left alone, not just without you, but with everything we used to be. I questioned myself constantly. Was I not enough? Did I love too deeply? Betrayal has a way of making the loyal feel guilty. I blamed my trust, my patience, my belief in forever. The memories hurt because they were once happy. Now they felt like reminders of something I couldn't get back. Days passed slowly. Nights felt endless. I learned how heavy silence can be when it's no longer shared. The places where your words once lived felt empty. I wasn't just mourning you, I was mourning the future I imagined with you. I avoided things that reminded me of us, but everything did. Songs, quiet evenings, familiar phrases. Healing didn't come quickly. It came in small breaths between waves of sadness. I had to accept that closure doesn't always come from the person who leaves. Sometimes, it comes from understanding that you deserved honesty. Being alone taught me things love never did. I learned that loyalty is a strength, not a weakness. That trusting deeply is not a flaw. That someone else's betrayal does not define my worth. You left me with memories, but you also left me with clarity. Pain slowly turned into acceptance. Not forgiveness, but peace. I stopped waiting for explanations that would never satisfy me. I stopped hoping you would return as the person you once were. I allowed myself to grieve, to feel, to heal. I no longer ask why you left. That question kept me tied to the past. Instead, I ask myself why I stayed loyal even when it hurt. And the answer is simple: I loved honestly. That is something betrayal can never erase. I chose to rebuild, quietly. Not to prove anything to you, but to protect myself. I learned to sit with my memories without letting them control me. They became lessons instead of wounds. Proof that I loved deeply, even if the ending was painful. Forever no longer scares me, but I understand it better now. Forever requires honesty, effort, and courage. Promises mean nothing without consistency. I will never regret loving you, but I will never accept being left in the dark again. You left me alone with memories, yes, but you also left me stronger. I carry no hatred, only understanding. Some people enter our lives to stay. Others come to teach us what we deserve. This is not a story of loss. It is a story of survival. Of choosing self-respect over waiting. Of learning that even when someone breaks a promise, life continues. And someday, memories will stop hurting and simply remind me that I survived love that wasn't meant to last.